One day my boyfriend went to the hospital for a checkup. He came home to tell me that his doctor told him that he only has 24 hours to live. Now I took this bad news really hard. All I could do was cry. But my boyfriend looked me in the eyes and he asked me could he make love to me for the very last time. Without any hesitation, I told him yes. And of course we made sweet, passionate love. Now after we made love, we laid in bed for a couple of hours and we cuddled. In the middle of cuddling, I was about to fall asleep, but my boyfriend tapped me on the shoulder again. He said, "Baby, 6 hours has passed, and I now only have 18 more hours left to live. Can we please make love again?" I could see the desperation in his face, so I agreed to make love again. After we made love a second time, I decided to get in the shower. Then after I took a shower, I went downstairs to make us some dinner. My boyfriend came downstairs while I was making dinner, and he tapped me on the shoulder again. He said, "Baby, I now only have 8 hours of life left." He asked me could we make love right there in the kitchen. I agreed and we made love right there on the kitchen table. After we ate dinner, I went upstairs to get in bed because I had to go to work in the morning. My boyfriend got in the bed with me, but I can tell he couldn't sleep because he was tossing and turning all night. Now I'm not gonna lie, I was getting a little frustrated, but I guess he couldn't sleep because he was only down to 4 more hours of life left. He tapped me on the shoulder again to try to wake me up out my sleep. He said, "Honey, I only have 4 more hours to live. Could we?" Before he could finish his sentence, I sat up in bed. I looked him in his face and I said, "Baby, I am not trying to be funny, but I have to get up in the morning and you don't." When I was about 3 years old, I remember I got really sick and I ended up in the hospital for a couple of days. I remember one of my mom's friends gave me a tea set for a get well gift, and it was one of my favorite gifts. I couldn't wait to get home to finally be able to play with it. So I got to go home the next day, and my mother, she had to work, so she left me home with my dad. My dad helped me set up my tea set, and then after that, he went back to the living room to watch TV. So I decided to surprise him with a cup of tea, which was just water. After my dad had several cups of tea, my mom came home, and my dad wanted to show my mom that I was bringing him cups of tea, so he told her to wait right there in the living room. I remember he said to her, "Now watch our daughter bring me a cup of tea." He thought it was the cutest thing ever. So my mom sat on the couch and she waited, and here I come down the hall with a cup of tea. I gave the tea cup to my daddy and she watched him drink it. I remember my dad had the biggest smile on his face. He said, "See, honey, ain't she the cutest?" My mom looked at him and she said, "I know only a mother would know this, but has it ever occurred to you that the only place that your daughter can reach to get water is the toilet?" I remember the first time I met my boyfriend's family. They had a dinner at their house. And to my surprise, for dinner, they had pork chops and mac and cheese. Now, pork chops and mac and cheese is my favorite thing to eat, and I guess my boyfriend told his parents that. So we sat and ate dinner, and everything was going fine. But one thing I forgot to tell my boyfriend was I'm lactose intolerant. So after that mac and cheese digested, I started to feel a lot of discomfort in my stomach. I had to let out a fart. But see, my farts are silent, so I just went ahead and let one out at the dinner table. My fart was still silent, but I guess the family heard a little psst. Before I could apologize, my boyfriend's father looked over at their dog, Diamond. His father started yelling at the dog. He said, "Now, Diamond." I was so relieved because he blamed the fart on the dog. So everybody is still sitting at the dinner table and we're all having a good conversation. But a couple minutes later, I felt another discomfort in my stomach. I had to fart again. This time I had a big smile on my face because my boyfriend's father was just going to blame the dog anyways. So I looked around and everybody is still laughing at one of my boyfriend's jokes. And I thought this is the perfect time to let out this fart. So I sat there and I let out a long, loud fart. Now my boyfriend's father looked at the dog again and he said, "Come on now, Diamond." That mac and cheese tore my stomach up, but I thought that was my last time farting. But a few minutes passed and I had to fart again. This time I didn't even think about it. I didn't even wait. I just let it rip. Once again, my boyfriend's father looked at the dog. Then he yelled, "Diamond, get away from that lady before she shits on you."